Today we are gonna get a stats boner, and I'm not even gonna try and hide it. I'm Saucy and I help new streamers level up their content. Before we get into this, just a quick reminder, subscribe. 50% of you that watch my videos are not subscribed, and I would love to hit 1K on YouTube so that we can get monetized and I can pay my bills. Thank you guys. So what game should you stream for the best growth on Twitch? This is a question that puzzled me when I moved to Twitch as well. I hear over and over, don't stream overly saturated games. I used to assume that this meant games at the top of the directory like League of Legends and Fortnite. I spent a fair amount of time when I first joined Twitch actually avoiding the top few games because of this. Only to find that when I switched over to popular games like Among Us and Phasmophobia, I actually picked up a bigger viewership. Does this mean that the stream advice about streaming non-saturated games is wrong? Not exactly. We have to think about our definition of saturated games. To work out what on earth saturated games even means, we're gonna head over to Sully Gnome. If we jump into the games page, we can see this beautiful rainbow graph, as well as a list of most watched games, trending games, and most streamed games. I'm gonna be using Among Us as our first example game here. If we take a look at these stats up on the top, the most important number is this viewer ratio. So that's at 58.8. So what this number actually shows us is the number of viewers divided by the number of streamers. So if all viewers were forcibly equally spread amongst all live streamers in the past 7 days, then each streamer would have 58.8 viewers. Now, obviously, you've got to take this with a pinch of salt. Viewership is not spread evenly like this. If we jump onto the Among Us directory at any time of day, we are going to see the people at the top with thousands of viewers versus the people at the bottom with 0 viewers. But what this does show us is that a massively popular game like Among Us can actually be a good game for smaller streamers to stream. And this is because of the streamer to viewer ratio. So a saturated game is actually not just a popular game, it's a game with a poor streamer to viewer ratio. So let's take a look at the other side of the spectrum, which is most streamed games. COD is above Fortnite, which really surprised me. And the average viewer ratio over the past 7 days is pretty low. For a game with so many average viewers, it's 11.5. If we compare this to Among Us, which had a similar number of average viewers, it had a lot higher viewer ratio. So COD is a very saturated game. Big reason why every stream educator ever says don't stream saturated games is because of something called positioning. Now, positioning is where you sit in your game directory. Good positioning is right at the top, whereas bad positioning is right down at the bottom. Now, positioning is absolutely not everything. Unless you're being recommended by Twitch, if you have bad positioning, then what that's going to mean is that viewers who are trying to find you through game category alone are really going to struggle if you're right down at the bottom. By the way, guys, if you want to learn more about how often your channel is recommended, you just need to head over into your stream summary over on Twitch, then scroll down to the bottom. You can see here where it says homepage recommendations. I can see that for my channel, only 6% of viewership actually comes from homepage recommendations. Now, the reason why I say that positioning in game category isn't everything is because if you're streaming a really unpopular game that has no audience at all, and being positioned at the top of that game category is not going to help you at all. So it's kind of a balancing act. You want a game that isn't too popular and too saturated so that you're not 6,000 scrolls down. You also want a game that is not completely dead on Twitch. We search for my Twitch channel over on the right hand side here, then go into Game Picker. The site will actually recommend games for us. And what's really cool about this, it will estimate both my directory position and my followers per hour that I can expect. If you uncheck this here and update the table, then it'll actually give you a full list of game suggestions right here. This is actually ordered by followers per hour estimated. I myself am personally less concerned with that. I'm more concerned with viewership. So you'd have to kind of pick through the suggestions a little bit to work out what would bring in the best viewership. For me, a game like Garnia Free Fire would actually be quite a good game to play. We can see that the viewership ratio is 58.7, so that's a really good ratio. If we scroll down, interestingly, we can also see that the bulk of people who stream this are actually speaking Portuguese or Spanish. So as an English speaker, I would actually be in the minority of streamers, which might make it a little bit easier for me to stand out on this game. If we go back over to the main page as well, you can see that I'd be position 34 in the directory, which isn't too low down. It's not thousands of scrolls. Something to note on the viewers page, guys, is extreme peaks and drops, as we can see here with Streamer Life Simulator. So what this actually signifies is that the game is generally not got a very big audience, that one streamer has come on Friday the 16th with 31,000 viewers and just bumped up the whole directory. So sometimes the streamer to viewer ratio might not be what it seems. I really want to see a heat map of the games with the top watch time, but also a really good average viewer ratio. The reason why I actually made this heat map is so that we can make a tier chart of the best 20 games to stream on Twitch in 2020. Are tiered lists still popular, guys? Let me know in the comments if I am irrelevant or not. I'm gonna start at the bottom with FIFA 21. Now, this game actually has a really good watch time with a kind of medium amount of streamers. The average viewer ratio is the lowest out of all of our different games. Then the followers gained is pretty good as well. So I think this FIFA is gonna be like a B tier. We're gonna start off by middling and put it in the middle. We then move on to Age of Empires, which is a little bit of a smaller game. You can see that the watch time there is not as good as it was for FIFA, but the amount of streamers is a lot lower, which is good. And also the average viewer ratio is higher, probably because of less streamers streaming it. So I'm going to put this down in D tier. Dota 2 is the next one on our list. Now, what happened this week actually is Christ actually decided to release the same video that I was planning this week, which is actually super useful for me because it taught me that games like Dota 2 and Hearthstone are actually a little bit awkward to stream if you're more of a community type builder streamer rather than a professional gameplay streamer. They may be statistically really great games to stream, but if you're planning on streaming those games, you will find that the audience is more geared towards professional gameplay, less geared towards wanting to be part of a community. Now, Dota 2 is actually quite low down with average viewer ratio, but it's doing pretty well with watch time and streamer number. Followers gained is also pretty good too, so I think we're going to pop it in B tier for now. ASMR. Now, this is not a category for everyone. Again, actually a pretty good game to stream on Twitch. The only thing that is red in ASMR is the average viewer ratio. Let's pop this up into A tier. Among Us. Now, Among Us is like a magical game. It's so good for community building. I'm gonna put this at the top. Like, I know that I would be low down on the directory if I stream this, but this is a magical game and it's going at the top. Clash Royale. Now, immediately this is red on watch time and kind of orange on average viewer ratio. So I'm gonna pop that down into C tier for now. Legends of Runeterra. Am I saying that right? Again, we've got a red watch time and orange average viewer ratio, and followers gained is kind of in the middle. So I'm going to pop that into C tier. Poker is very kind of orange throughout the board. So I think poker should go into B tier, right in the middle. Food and drink. The watch time is not great, but also, yeah, average viewership, followers gained, also not great. I think I'm gonna have to put this into D tier. Eternal Return. This is another one that's kind of middling. It's mostly all yellow, but there's a little bit of orange under followers gained. So, I think we'll again have to pop this in the middle. I'm gonna pop it into B. I'm middling on all of these. Just chatting. This is actually one of my personal favorite categories on Twitch. The only downside of it is it's so freaking huge that you're gonna be really far down in the directory. And that is going to be the case until you get really big as a streamer. So for that reason, even though the average viewer ratio is really good, the fact that the amount of streamers we can see there is bright red means that it cannot really go any higher than C tier. Starcraft 2. Now this is another one that's kind of middling, but I'm going to put it in C tier. And the reason for that is because followers gained is kind of low on that one. Old school RuneScape. And I used to play this, guys, when I was young. This one is very middle. It's completely like all yellow everywhere. It just seems like really super average. So I think we're gonna pop that into, I'm gonna put it in A tier. We're gonna promote it. It's gonna go to A tier. Just because I remember it from being a kid. It gets an extra boost for that reason. Virtual casino. Now there's a lot of red in here, but there's also like bright green for streamers because there's barely anyone streaming this, and there's got a really good average viewer ratio. I'm gonna put it in B tier. World of Warcraft 3. Watch time is pretty low. Followers gained pretty low. Streamers really good. And average viewer ratio really good. So I think we're gonna pop that into C tier. Visage. Now, this is a game that I only found out about through making this list, and I really want to play it. But this is another game it's doing pretty well. Their average viewer ratio is really good. Followers gained is okay. Streamers is pretty good. Watch time, very good. So I think we're going to pop Visage into A tier. Yes. So the watch time, kind of medium. Followers gained, kind of medium. Average viewer ratio, really freaking good. Average number of streamers, pretty good. Let's pop this into B tier. Lots is another magical game like Among Us. For some reason, like a bunch of people will turn up to watch anyone play slots. And I kind of feel like I need to trial this to really confirm it. So many people have said this that I feel like slots just absolutely has to go into S tier right now. Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the restoration of Era Thea. Did I say that right? I can't pronounce half of these. The watch time is red. The followers gained is red. And then these two are green, which means that it has to go in the middle. Let's pop that in B tier. B tier is now full. Hearthstone. Now, this is another game that's constantly appearing in the top of these tier lists that I'm seeing across YouTube. The game with Hearthstone is the same as Dota 2 in that the audience are really more looking for professional gameplay. Whilst it may appear really high on this list, just bear that in mind. At Hearthstone, the stats are really good. Yellow, lots of watch time, not too many streamers, lots of followers gained, and a really freaking good average viewer ratio. Really good. 143. I don't know how I achieved this. We're gonna have to put this at the top. So in S tier, we've got Among Us, Slots, Hearthstone. A tier, ASMR, if you're into that, RuneScape, and Visage, which I'm totally gonna play. B tier, FIFA, Dota 2, Poker, Eternal Return, Virtual Casino, Chess, Heroes 3. In C tier, we've got Clash Royale, Run Terrero, which I can't say, Just Chatting, Starcraft, and Warcraft 3. And in D tier, we've got Age of Empires and Food and Drink. Now, as much as I enjoyed looking at stats and making a tier list, there's an important truth to realize here, and that is that you really have to enjoy the game that you play. This is perhaps less true for larger streamers who make a lot of money from streaming. The reward from streaming for them includes monetary gain, which can be enough for some people. As a small streamer, I believe that you have to love what you do in order to continue to put the work in to eventually succeed. Because in the beginning, there really isn't a whole lot of money. I get asked this question a lot. There is not a lot of money in streaming when you first start. And even when you do start earning money, it's not going to be enough to support you for a really long time. And I've seen a lot of friends quit over the past 2 years. And that's normally because they lose their passion, which just takes away their motivation. So they really just don't have the energy to put the work in that's required to be successful at streaming anymore. So if you play a game that makes you like totally miserable because you think that it's going to bring in a load of viewers, and you are going to lose passion for streaming really quickly. And also, guys, if you don't enjoy the game, like, viewers can totally tell, and they're probably going to prefer to watch someone else who is enjoying the game. Another important truth, all the truths today, guys, is the game is not everything in 2020. I'm gonna sound like every stream educator who's ever existed ever right now. Saturation on Twitch is so bad in every single game category that has an audience. It's just essential at this point to try to bring in traffic from outside of Twitch. If you are not making content on other platforms apart from Twitch, you're automatically at a disadvantage at this point. People who make content outside of Twitch, so Parasella, Pokemon, Moist Critical, they can come onto Twitch and play whatever they want and still have a massive viewership. And that's because they are providing valuable content 24/7 that is being promoted to people through the YouTube algorithm. So 100% guys, check out these games, give them a go, but don't rely on those alone to grow your stream. I hope that you guys found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and drop me a comment. I do try really hard to read and reply to all of my comments on YouTube. If you guys would like to come chat about streaming, feel free to drop by my stream. I stream every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on Twitch, link in the description below. If you're new to streaming and you have no idea where to begin with making content outside of Twitch, I made a video for you on how you can use Twitter to grow your stream. You guys can find that over here. I'll see you over there. Bye guys.